One of the hidden effects I find is very related to having gone through emotional neglect, whether it was in your childhood, your early infant years, or your teenage adolescent years, right? Is this heightened sense of anxiety, this sense of not knowing whether you're doing the right thing, whether it's going to result in the parent turning their back on you, reprimanding you, physically hitting you or emotionally abusing you, right? Any of these things that can happen as a result of you not doing exactly what is expected of you or what they want from you. And this heightened sense of anxiety becomes this overthinking mind, right? This constant replaying of different situations over and over again, trying to find what you did wrong and why you can't get anything right. And this is what I hear results in this feeling of being a burden, this feeling of not being somebody that is capable of doing the right things in their life, right? That feel like they constantly fail over and over again. And they're usually stuck with this overthinking mind as well whenever I start to see these symptoms in somebody's life. So it could go back to how a parent raised you, right? It's often very connected to that. They could have been very aggressive, very manipulative. They could have just simply expected a lot from you and demanded respect from you without ever truly respecting you or even explaining it or talking to you or developing a deeper connection other than just you're my child, you do what I expect from you at all times, you can't talk back, you can't say what you're thinking. None of that is a norm in a household like this, right? Where you're growing up with this heightened sense of anxiety of feeling like you're gonna step on a bomb at any moment and the whole day could just result in the parent being in that bitter mood, that angry mood, right, where they're yelling and maybe now they're fighting in their marriage all the time. And that's also something I see that happens a lot too, especially one phrase that I heard recently was feeling like your parents were divorced a long time ago, right? And you were just simply in that house trying to survive, trying to find ways to find happiness for yourself because it's very obvious that in a household like that, there is no union, there's no peace. There's just two people living in their own bitter moods at all times, right? Trying to get the upper hand on another person or win any argument that happens. So it's very difficult to grow up in a house like that. And more often than not, that is going to be an emotionally neglectful household, right? As the two adults are so focused on what they're feeling, their own internal battles, and the children are simply just going to be victims of that. So hopefully this touches on why or how that anxiety comes about, right? And the types of situations I've heard from people so that you can connect to this and start to ask yourself questions about this anxiety you may have been going through for a long time, right? That simply changes and transforms into worse stuff over time. So